Without doing this dead simple thing in 2025 and beyond, chances are you'll be unsuccessful. You'll fail. And so many people out there, I see it all the time, are just wandering around day to day, drifting around from day to day, from pillar to post. And the same sort of people is fine if that's the kind of life they want to live. But you get some people that are saying, why am I not successful? Why am I not rich? Why have I not got a passive income or financial security? Why am I not in good shape? Why is my IBS out of control and I've tried this and that? And the truth is, more often than not, is because they don't have goals. They don't have a clear vision of what they want. Yeah, they might have an idea, but then even when they think they know what they want, they don't put systems or things in place to get in there. So today what I want to go through is, in this video, podcast as you will, Beyond Bathroom Blues, the first one in 2025. If you're listening to the podcast or following us on the YouTube channel at Men's IBS Mastery, then Happy New Year, Happy 2025. I want to dive straight in and cover, and I touched on this in December before Christmas, on goal setting. I want to keep something simple. I've tried loads and loads of different types of goal setting when I was in the military and beyond, in entrepreneurship and now in business and with my wife. I'm constantly evolving, as we should be, and I believe to my core that the thing I'm going to share with you today is the simplest, easiest way to not only create goals and visions, things that you want, but actually get there. Now, there is a caveat. As always, there is a caveat. You have to do the work. So if you're watching this, and if you're into goal setting and you're all over goal setting, by all means flick away. Also, if you're into goals, if you are doing goal setting already and they're not really working, or you feel maybe they're too complicated, for example, you might have heard of or be using SMART goals. I'm not teaching that today, you'll be glad to know. If you want to know about SMART goals, search for it on YouTube. There's tons of people that'll teach SMART. I'm not a fan. I'll share to you, I'll give you the reason why in a minute, and I'll show you something even easier. And the reason I know that the thing that I use is easier, because I've tried SMART goals and I've put them into practice and experience, so I've got that wisdom. Now, the truth is, SMART goals or goal setting is unique to everybody. But the point I want to make today is you have to have a system or something, a method in place to get in the outcome in life, to get in whatever you want in life, whether that's meeting the love of your life, whether that's getting in good beach body shape and ripped, or putting on some muscle mass, whether you want your IBS eliminated and get rid of all them symptoms, dialed in, successful in business and in life. You've got to have goals. You can't, otherwise you're just drifting around life. You just float around like a little Quavers crisp and just blow around. The wind is blowing you like a leaf in the wind and you're just hoping you might land somewhere favourable. But that's not the way. That's not the way. When you're a ship at sea, if you're just drifting around as a ship in sea, what happens? You're going to hit rocks. You're going to get, land on a beach somewhere. It's not going to end well, is it? You need to have your coordinates set, your GPS set. So I'm going to go straight into it, and I'm going to mention the two basic things of how to not only identify what you want as in to set goals, but then how to do it as well. Is everyone up for that? Cool. So straight away then, what are goals, and how do we easily and successfully get them? So I'll give you the two straight away up front, and then we're going to dive straight into it. Now, when I was in the military, a very, very quick back context, the military, as you know, whether you're in America or it's the US Army or the British Army, the Special Forces, it doesn't matter. They all have missions. They all have a strategy. Okay, you see where we're going with this in a second. So the first thing that they have to get mission success or be successful, even though things might fail along the way and whatever, is they have a strategy. So strategy is there to win the war. So we need a strategy. It's the same with anything. If you've got to know what you want in life, haven't you? I want to lose weight, strategy. I want to be a millionaire or a multi-millionaire or beyond, strategy. Dream, vision. Okay, so strategy is the first one. Now a strategy is, as I said before, it's your overarching vision, the big thing, the one huge thing that you want in life. And you can have a number of these, can't you? You can have a number of them. You can have, I'd suggest 2 to 3, because otherwise they end up becoming too diluted. So you want one big thing in life. because everything else should fall into place. Do you see what I mean? So, for example, if you think your strategy is eliminating your IBS, cool. That could be a good strategy if everything else in your life is dialed in. But how about the big strategy is to be in tip-top prime health and fitness? That's an out strategy. Right, guys, so quickly, I thought the other night while I was piecing this video together, I'm going to add a little bit more value, make it crystal clear, so it's then super easy for you to get the outcome, so you get the best outcome as possible. I'm going to show you my goal board, as you will, using what I'm teaching here, strategy and tactics. And the first thing we'll look at is strategy, and then we'll dive into tactics. What we're also going to do is, as well as showing you mine, pull the curtain back and give you a sneak peek of what we're up to. And I'm also going to then, on a sheet of paper, map it out in terms of like health and fitness with IBS. So it's pulling it back to what this channel's about. Happy with that? Is that okay? Cool. So let's walk and talk. So over here, let's just sort that out. There we are. Okay, so strategy, as you can see, is the big outcome that you fixed, and it's long term. Remember what I said? And there we are, that's ours. Have a huge impact on the men's health space. Happy with that? Clearly we're going to look at tactics shortly, which are all underneath there. Cool. Right, let's put that into a little bit more practice now. Okay, hopefully this will make sense. Right, so we're going to have a strategy. See that? If I do that, you can. Cool. The strategy's there, and then obviously, so for what I said before, you are a man and you want to be in awesome, I won't put shape, health and fitness. With that, so just a strategy, awesome health and fitness. Can't get fairer than that, can we? That's, like I say, it's fixed. That's what we want. It's not changing. It's going to stay like that. That's what I want. I'm committed to it, and I'm gonna go for that. You've noticed how it's not got a time on there. There's no time on it. You know what I mean? As I said before, there's no time on there, like these SMART goals, because at the end of the day, that's how can you put a time on that? It could take a month, it could take 6 months, it could take a year, it could take longer, depending on where you're at already, you know, what level you're at, where's your starting point, etc., etc. Just keep it simple. Absolutely, just keep it simple, and you'll knock it out of the park with goals. You really will. Strategy overall, and if it's not health and fitness, it could be anything. It could be to people say, oh, I want to have £1 million, or I want to, be a multimillionaire or whatever, but that's not the strategy. The financial stuff comes underneath as tactics, because it's what are you going to give to the market space, what are you going to deliver, what value are you going to add to create that income, to create that money, if that makes sense. So it's some people say, oh, I've got a goal, it's a huge goal, I want to, I don't know, be a multimillionaire, I want to have $10 million in money and assets and all this stuff, and it's like, well, what are you going to do to get that money? You can't just play the lottery. Well, you can play the lottery, national lottery. You might never win in the next 40 years. Do you see what I mean? Because the odds are that crazy. But obviously, if you're a coach, or like I'm a men's performance expert. For me, I'm helping men with their mindset, and with my wife as well, with their physical health, with IBS, with all that stuff. In a nutshell, then we can create that value by, which you'll see in a minute when I show you the tactics as an example, not to brag. So when you see all our tactics that fall underneath that strategy, so the overarching strategy for us is to create a huge impact in the men's health space for mental and physical health. Do you know what I mean? And then everything comes underneath. Hopefully that makes sense. Right, that'll do for now. Let's dive back into the video, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about tactics. Happy days? Okay, does that make sense? So the first one, as I said before, is strategy. So next thing you need, so you've got strategy, and you're thinking, right, Glenn, I've got this one goal, I've got the vision, the desire, the dream. Happy with that? Write it down, make a note of it, put a post-it note in front of you so you see it all the time. So you're constantly seeing it, like ours behind me. Yeah, I'm seeing that all the time. All the time. And also I've took a photograph of that because that'll get rubbed off soon, so I can teach on that on YouTube videos and stuff. But I've always got that down in my journal. It's on my screensaver on my iPad. So I'm constantly being reminding myself of my strategy and the goals that we have, my wife and I, and for the business and in life as a family moving forwards. Now, once you've got your strategy, the one big outcome, then underneath that, you'd have your tactics. This is where it relates to, like I said, about the military. So strategy and tactics. Now, strategy is fixed. I said that. Tactics, they change all the time. Just like when a platoon of soldiers goes into Iraq or Afghanistan and they do an attack, an assault. I don't know, they're carrying out an attack and something happens. They're doing a full frontal attack. But in that full frontal, they come across obstacles, minefields, IEDs. They suffer too many casualties, and that full frontal attack has to stop. It can't achieve mission success with that full frontal attack. So they've got to change the tactics. Maybe they've got to go left flanking or to the right. Maybe they've got to sack it altogether and stop for 24 to 48 hours, regroup, get some more soldiers and ammunition, and then think about it and do it a different way. Do you see what I mean? Maybe they need some Apache helicopters to come in and give them support. So there's all these things, different tactics, and that's just in a military context as an example. The next part we'll look at is the tactics in a little bit more detail. We've mentioned about that. We've got his goal, we've got his vision, we're happy with that. Now the tactics are all the things. I always ask myself three things when I'm going to goal set or I want to achieve something. Okay, and it's why, what, who. Three W's. Why, what, who. Why do I want the thing that I want? Why do I want to be help the men's health and fitness space in mental and physical health? Why do I want to do that? What's my big reason why? And I'm not going to do a deep dive on this today in this podcasting video. If you want more on how to create a why, clearly there's tons of stuff on YouTube to dig into this, like Simon Sinek. But also you could look at my other video, which I did just before Christmas. If you've seen that already, cool. That will do a deep dive into finding what's known as your purpose, okay? And how to get a grip of that one. So I always ask, what is the why? What is the purpose and the drive, the motivation? What is motivating you to get in that outcome, to get in that big thing? Because without that, it's pointless, isn't it? And that's why so many people set New Year's resolutions and step into January, they go to the gym and they don't have a real reason why. They don't have a strong enough why, a big enough purpose. If they really connected emotionally, for example, if it was weight loss, that if I put on any more weight, I could lead to type 2 diabetes and heart disease and cancer, and then that's going to affect not only my health and the way I move around and the way I feel, but it's also going to affect my children. They're going to get upset because if I come home and tell them I've got the big C or type 2 diabetes, how does that impact not just my life but their life? And then I start going down a rabbit hole like that. Before you know it, it's a nightmare, innit? That's enough to move you, then cool. Just as an example, and it's the same with IBS. If your IBS symptoms have got in the way in the past, learn from the past and you move forwards. Because if you don't do that, then you're just going to stay stuck forever and ever and a day with anything in life. So we've got to reflect on what's happened. We've got to look back before we can move forward. We have got to do that. The past is in the past, but we can learn from it. Now, the thing is, as well, before you start looking at your tactics, and you've got your strategy, and you've got your reason why, you've got your big purpose, you've done all that bit, then the other thing to think about is, apart from, as I said, why do you want that big outcome, is what are you going to do? Remember I said there's three things that I ask myself: why, what, who. What things can you do? What things have you done in the past that haven't worked? If it's IBS, they haven't worked, if you're watching this, potentially. And that's cool, It's obviously sad that they haven't worked, but at least you've found ways of how not to do it. We all look back at the old story of Thomas Edison with the light bulb that he did. Was it 10,000 ways? He found 10,000 failures, but it was 10,000 ways on how not to make the light bulb until he found the way. So it's like, you keep going. But the thing is, if you keep doing what's not working, if you keep repeating the same things day in, day out, then you could argue that's a sign of complete madness. It's bonkers. Completely nuts. Do you know what I mean? It really is. Because if you keep, it's like flogging a dead horse, isn't it? Like the saying where a jockey's flogging a dead horse, he's not going to get anywhere. So you've got to think, right, the diet that I'm using, or the person that I've been seeing, the book that I've been reading, it's not serving me. I've still got drama if it's IBS, or if it's, financial situation, maybe the savings plan or the investment strategy's not worked out, the cryptocurrency's crashed or whatever, then it's time to reflect on that, move on to maybe something else. Do you see what I mean? So this is where we now start drilling into the detail, as you will, of what we need to do for tactics, strategy, and tactics. Now, what have I tried in the past? What could I do? What things? How could I achieve success today and moving forwards? What things could I achieve? Ask other people. Ask me. Drop me a message. If it's IBS, drop me a message in the comments, or email me at glenn@mensibsmastery.com and ask me, and I'll share stuff with you. There's no dramas. I really want to help you move forward in your life, for yourself and your family, to have success, to have health mastery, IBS mastery. And you can use, it's the same things by doing these ways of goal setting. You can use it in any area of your life, any and every single area, and it'll help. And it's so much easier. For me, and I circle back to the beginning when I said I don't like SMART goals. For those that are watching that know about SMART goals, you'll know where I'm coming from, as in what they are. If not, I'm not going to explain what they are to you. You can, if you want to look them up, you can do. But for me, I tried them and put them into practice a long, long time ago, and I used to teach them as well in the army. I was using them again and again, and I don't like them. I didn't like them. They create, for me, it creates a false sense of like failure. If you don't, it's time specific. It's timed, and if you don't hit it by, people are not getting it in that certain time frame, they think they failed the goal, or it's not achievable, and all this rubbish. And we used to share SMART goals with our chain of command in the army and say, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to achieve. I want to be, I don't know, SAS or RSM or whatever. They'd be like, that's not, you're never going to get that, the naysayer. You're never going to achieve that. All right, so it's not achievable. I'll decide if it's achievable, unless it's completely bonkers. And then you have got to be realistic with your goal setting. You all get that. You can't, if you sit back in your armchair, and you're like 65-year-old and you want to be the captain of the England international football team, it's not going to happen, because age is against you and there's physical limitations and all the other malarkey. So you have got to have a little bit of common sense with it. So moving on then, so tactics. So we've got a reason why, we've got the big purpose, what we want, we've got a strategy. We then reflect on what we've done in the past, what hasn't worked, what some things might have worked a little bit. Maybe we need to go back to that, go back to the drawing board. But more importantly, what things can we employ and start doing, tactics, moving forward? What can you do yourself? Always start with yourself. Is it, you maybe need to read a book and then follow the advice in that book so you get the outcome. For those that have read the book that I wrote, IBS Inversion, you'll know where I'm coming from. That's to get you from stuck to unstuck in terms of your mindset so you can move forward. Then the other part is who can I ask, or who can I find that can help me get the outcome? This is the fastest way. Obviously there's a cost associated to it, if you want to call it cost financially, by getting maybe coaching. Maybe you've got to pay for some mentoring. Maybe you've got to seek out and buy a program online, an online training program. Maybe you've got to speak to somebody in person and have a private consultation. Do you see what I mean? So who can I find that can help me get the outcome? And that's the fastest way, because they're going to help you. If it's coaching, they're going to kind of virtually hold your hand and take you step by step, which is what we do with our clients, step by step, so you get the outcome quickly and safely, and for the long haul too. So just bear that one in mind. So why, what, who? And then from all that, you can get all your tactics, your different things that you can start to try. So we're now going to look at the tactics. So you've got your strategy, being awesome health and fitness, fixed. Go crazy with it. I mean, but you see the example I'm using, you see the point. Okay, let's walk over to the board. Right then, you can see there, ignore where it says intermediate goals, subordinate goals. Look, tactics, that's what you want to bear in mind, tactics. And look, they're fluid. Fluid means they can change. So if one of them might not work, look, let me get down here. Podcasts, I might not be able to do a podcast, I might not be able to do a post, The podcast platform might go bust. All these things can happen where that might change. Yeah, but you see, there's all different stuff on there that are geared and aiming towards like a North Pointer, have a huge impact on the men's health space. Look, create high value content to help men, YouTube, blogs, socials, etc. weekly. So I'm giving myself, I've got the tactics there. All I'm doing is breaking that down to when I'm going to be doing it. It's all right, it's sticking it out there, but I've got to say that weekly, record and publish videos, podcasts, posts, alternate days. Look at this one here. Even though as an entrepreneur, I've got all this stuff going on about writing books and this, that, the other, creating offers and content, it all starts with you. It all starts with me. So look, lead by example, maintain and improve own health and fitness, develop skills. And look, that even comes down there even further. As you can see there, I've got my daily routine, which is non-negotiable, exercise, body and mind, blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah, you see all that there, weeklies. Look, a writing retreat for when I write books, 7 to 10 day retreat. And then look, signature program. A lot of these are done, so books there are already done and they're published. They're out on various platforms such as Amazon. And the men's IBS mastery blueprint is done, but we're just finalising version either 2 or 3, I forget. But it's and then look, PDFs. Happy with that. Right. Hopefully that makes sense. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. People, I don't know, they get bent out of shape, but goal setting, and you see all these YouTube videos that just go too crazy with it. Right, let's put it into, like with the health offer, or for yourself, if you're into health and fitness as an example. Let's look at that. There we are. So we have got, as I said before, our be in awesome shape strategy. Let's do some tactics. Cool. So let's do a couple of tactics. You're probably getting this now, so I'm going to keep it simple and just basically just rattle a few off. Have a think now. What tactics could you have to be in awesome shape and fitness? What tactics could we have? Well, depending on, remember this, we're looking at mental health. So let's go for mindset. It's a buzzword. Mindset. So mental health. We could break it down into physical as well. Physical health. And then we'll just put other. And that could be, for example, like the channel, IBS. So there's some tactics there we need to employ to handle these ones here. Well, what things? And again, all you're doing at this stage is brainstorming. Well, I need to read and listen, because not everybody likes to read, they like to listen as well, to audio, books and podcasts like this, like our podcast channel Beyond Bathroom Blues, which will keep you informed and up to date with all things men's IBS. So this is again for mindset. We've got, we could meditate. We're looking at meditation, yoga, prayers if you're religious. So that's just a handful. You can think of some more. Physical health, obviously I need to exercise, and that could be, that could be broken down in running, bodybuilding, blooming cycling, swimming. It doesn't matter. All these different stuff, but you've got to have your exercises on there. For other physical stuff, you've got stretching and your Pilates, all that stuff. So you've got everything in there, and then your IBS is reflect, and then forward. So reflect where you're at, what we tried in the past, what's worked, what's not worked, and then draw a line in the sand and say, right, what do I need to move forward? What's the quickest? And I'm just gonna give you the gold-plated solution. The quickest and best way is to hire / invest, because it is an investment, an expert or experts like me and my wife in program, as you will, that's different than anything else out there, that's unique to getting me IBS free, in a nutshell, taking me from where I am now to getting squared away. So that's that one. And it's the same with physical. If you're overweight, you might need a PT, so that could be a personal trainer, etc. So this is just brainstorming. That's it. That is at the moment is where I am. It's just brainstorming. Then obviously, like on the board that I showed you there, I think we'll keep it there. Is break that down, all that stuff there. Have a plan in place, where you're going to commit to things daily. So you might put 5 times Monday to Friday, or every other day I'm going to work out at the gym or outdoors. I'm going to go running, cycling, whatever that looks like for you. So it's physical. I'm going to commit to prayers or meditating or a mixture of both every single day, maybe twice a day. I'm going to do journaling. So all these little things, these nuances start to come together into making your life awesome. And remember, it'll take time. It's like the compound effect moving forward. But does that make sense? It's really simple. And then you've just got to do it, which is what people don't do. They come up with all these plans and then they don't put it into action. But if you make it's just keeping it simple. You've heard the term before, like breaking things down into small bite-sized chunks. That's what it means, to small goals, the small tiny things, and then lead towards the bigger ones. So if you did that every single day, you started doing the yoga, you started meditating, you're doing the exercise, you're going outdoors. And listen, maybe your IBS is keeping you from doing a lot of that. So that could be your main focal point, could be my IBS, because you've reflected and you've realised that your IBS is, you feel that it's holding you back, it's preventing you from going and doing exercise, and maybe that's creating some excess body fat. Maybe it's making you, your heart rate's gone up, you've got high blood pressure. So the main for this, you'll only know this yourself when you reflect and maybe speak to a professional and say, right, I've got to draw a line in the sand. What's the priority? So the IBS could be a priority. Right, I'm sick of this. I'm going to reflect. I've reflected on my IBS. I'm going to seek expert help and guidance and support, and I'm going to keep clued up. Yeah, and then obviously we should always be learning. We should always be reading, whether it's business, health, fitness, it doesn't matter. Audiobooks, podcasts, YouTube videos, and not just learn it, because knowledge is useless on itself, is put it into practice and see what works for you, and then you get the experience, which becomes wisdom. Happy with that? Cool. Let's dive back in. Happy with that? I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I don't want to obviously blow anyone's mind, because goal setting, everybody thinks goal setting, for some people they think it's like this nemesis. And you hear entrepreneurs and business people, athletes, they all say talk about goal setting. And I believe, in the research that I've done, and when I used to teach it in the military, and obviously putting it into practice myself, people make it too confusing. And I think sometimes on some of these YouTube videos and elsewhere, do they really know what they're talking about? Because if you can't make it, if it's not simple enough and they can't explain it simple enough, then maybe they don't understand it themselves. And if we want to just wrap all this video up in this podcast today, and just to, I guess, lead by example and just make it this as simple as possible, goal setting is 2 things: strategy and tactics. They are the nuts and bolts to it. And anybody on here that's maybe another coach that does smart goal setting, fine. If that works for you, happy days. And there's probably a gazillion other ways of doing goal setting out there, and people start putting bells and whistles on it and making it overcomplicated and crazy. But remember, simplicity is the key to mastery. It really, really is. Okay, so strategy and tactics, job done. Remember, just to summarise, strategy is your vision, your goal, your big outcome, the one big goal in life. For us at Men's IBS Mastery, or for me and my wife, it's to make an impact, to create a dint in the men's health space, in mental and physical health. It's that, you think it's crazy, that's huge, it's really woolly, and it really is, but that's the whole point of it. But then when we get down to the tactics, is the specifics of how can I achieve that? How can we achieve that? And then we look at all the different areas that I need to do, not only the things that I need help with, whether it's coaching and mentoring, or I need to do some programs to level up on my skills in marketing and advertising and all the other jazz. And then there's the courses that Charlie Jean, my wife and business partner, will be doing to keep up to speed with as a dietitian and a sports nutritionist. Fine. But it's what are we going to do to achieve that goal? Create content, add value, create offers and courses and programs and books and podcasts and blogs and blah, 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 and all the other stuff. And get that out there to you guys so that it helps you on your journey moving forwards, which also then helps us get to that goal. It's simple. It really is. Now, does it mean you're going to fail along the way? I hope so. And you should hope and pray for failure. You really should. Because through failure and setbacks, providing you don't let it just sit back and go, there, I'm done, you'll learn. Remember, you only fail if you quit, and every failure leads to success. As long as you keep moving forwards and you're going to learn from it. We either win or we learn. That's the saying, or we succeed or we learn. But you've got to see things as a gift. Sometimes the biggest failures in life, the biggest kicks in the teeth, and actually, if you learn from it, can be the biggest lesson that propel you forward in your health, wealth, business, happiness, etc. Hope that helps. Happy New Year to all. If you've got any questions, fire them in. Right? Don't be the quiet guy sat in the corner. Don't be the grey man. Fire them in. I'm flipping. Look at that. Taking the mic. Leather chair. Guys, the only ask I've got from this, I hope this has had massive value. Write it all down. Take some notes. Go back and watch it if you want. Check out my other video here about what I said before, which is going to do a deep dive on your reason why. That's going to help you if you've not seen it already. Have a gleaming 2025. I hope to speak to you and see you this year and help you along your journey with success. My only ask for this is please pay it forward. If you found it helpful, or you know somebody else that's a friend at work, another man, another colleague that's struggling with his goals, with goal setting, successes, he keeps having setbacks, maybe this is the missing piece that he needs. Thanks very much. Take care. All the best.